Hi there, pop pickers. Oh, still in pain. Don't know what it is. Well, I suppose you think that vandalism is something for musicians. Wrong. You see, when you speak, it's a kind of music, you know. It don't matter what you talk about, it has a kind of music, kind of musicality. And people find that interesting because they can see your personality. And so music is kind of secondary, because one of the problems is when you're playing, you don't really want to fall into a cliche. You don't want to be, you know, as good as gold. You don't want to be where fools rush in. You don't want to be happy as Larry. Meaning, all those cliches have been said and done by other people. History. All these wise sayings and proverbs and all that fucking shit is other people. And so what you've got to try and do is you've got to try and do something that's you, that's a bit special, that's not copying somebody else. So for example, a friend of mine has got this great title for a song called Johnny Jackpot. And what I wanted to say to him was, I'd never steal that name, you know, because somebody thought of it and then somebody said it to somebody else and somebody said it to somebody else, and eventually they wrote a song around that theme. And so it's theirs, it's like theirs, their copyright or their bit of wisdom. So I have respect for that, because you can't be an original writer or an original thinker if you take on board everything everybody else is telling you. You've got to develop your own particular thing that's completely different, man. You know what I mean? So it's like that with music, you know. That's why you've always got to be kind of ready for the unexpected with me, because that's how I am. So I've been having a bit of trouble with playing a few chords, putting the right fingerings. There, that one. If paradise was half as nice as the heaven that you take me to, put paradise, I'd rather have you. If paradise nice was half as nice as the heaven that you take me to. Holy paradise, I'd rather have you. Now that song was a song that came out years ago. It was Andy Fairweather Low, but really it's an Italian song, Paradiso. So this is what you get. You get some song in English, and it turns out it's an Italian song, and they've done a kind of sale, you know, they kind of licensed it to somebody else, and then you think, fucking, why did they bother? You know, it's to make money, really. The trouble is, the music industry is too much. There's too much of that. So you're thinking some artist has done this great song for years and years, and then you find out 20 years ago that something like David Bowie is really it's really a French song, and that pisses you off, you know, pisses me off, because I've heard one, David Bowie one. It's the one where he's the astronaut, you know, lost in space. I forget what it's called now. And there's a French one, just exactly like it, from way before. So it's been sort of licensed and sold to EMI, and then they bring it out in London, re-record it, put a few fancy modern instruments on it. For the time, you know, it was mellotrons and all that kind of thing. And people go out and kids buy it, you know, most people buy it. And then you realise when you look on the internet and read up on it, and you catch up on Bowie's influences, and he's got these French influences. And I forgot what this guy's called now. A French guy anyway, but the song is so similar. In fact, the French song is actually a bit more nuanced, it's a bit more complex, it's a bit more amazing in terms of chord structure. And it's kind of a one-off, you know, it's very difficult to write such a brilliant song. And then you've got to have the right choice of instruments and musicians. Then you've got to go in the studio, and then you've got to release it, and then they've got to put it on vinyl. And, you know, so you can't knock it, it's like really difficult. Music industry is highly technological, so it's very difficult to compete with them. And their presidents of their companies, they must get pissed off at what they release, you know, think, oh God, you know, I've got to put. But you know, if it sells, you know, they have to make money, they have to keep, you know, they have to make money at the business. They have different tastes, you know. Everybody's got slightly different tastes, and everybody kind of likes similar things and loves the same bands, you know. Otherwise those bands won't be popular. And of course you can have fairly unpopular bands who are very interesting, you know, so the music industry is always worth talking about, because cutting my fingernails it's just something I like doing if I can't be bothered playing. And it breaks up the song, you know. I've done a bit of that song. I don't like doing all of it, because it means I have to really study the song and learn all the words. And I could do it. You see, the thing is, the song is made brilliant by the other musicians and the choice of drums, and not easy, you know. Sometimes they use big timpani instead of a normal drum kit. You know, it's like anything can happen with music, and so it's very much a group activity. You know, that's why me doing things on my own, it's not as exciting as being with other people trying to work on a band, but just the way it is, you know. So can't always have you can't always be Ziggy Stardust with the Spiders of Mars around you, you know what I mean? They split up. That must have been terrible, you know, like for David Bowie. Then they split up, and then he got Carlos Alomar on guitar and some others. You know. And then, of course, when you discuss it, I discuss it with a friend of mine. We always get round to how Bowie sort of always grabbed the copyright and grabbed all the money, and the other ones didn't get it, you know, and get the money. And they're probably still suing now, you know. And they've got some old fucking stupid judge there, you know, don't understand it at all. Or is biased or something. Or only likes classical music. Or maybe not. Who knows? But I find it funny, you know. It's not an industry. It's an industry you can study, but it can take you a long time to understand it. And even then, you know, why would you want to? The thing about music is you just got to enjoy it. You know, if you like it, you enjoy it. See, I can feel a song coming on now. I should click my fingernails a bit more, but I feel that song coming on. You know what it's going to be, don't you? It's so difficult to work out, isn't it? Paradise was half as nice as the heaven that you take me to. Who need paradise? I'd rather have you. I'd rather have you. Rather have you. I'd rather have you. I'd rather have you. La 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 Of course, it could have been written by Andy Fairweather. Then it could be the other way around, that the Italian band did a version of it, because I've heard an Italian version of it. So it's hard to say, really. I mean, Bowie might have done, what was it now, that song? Ground Control to Major Tom, that one. Space Oddity. No, Space Oddity. And a French guy might have heard that and written something similar. He wrote something about space and the stars and kind of being out there and travelling through time or something in French. You see, he might have got it from Bowie, so. Or they might have been at a party in 1967 in Paris and all discussing space travel. The pair of them might have gone off individually and just wrote these songs, you know. Or they may not have done. But anyway, who knows? But that's what it's like, isn't it, you know? Talking to all your friends years ago. So yeah, I'm going to be a pop star. Yeah, where, you know. See, to be a pop star, you've got to go out gigging, and I can't be bothered. That'll do.